CNN IBN.
Brought to you by Original Microsoft Software, the right standard for your business. Tata Motors thanks a million welcome rewards. Experience music differently with new Walkman phones from Sony Ericsson. J. Hampstead, the world's finest fabric. Monster.com, magic search, right jobs. Switch to Geox. Geox, the shoes that breathe. Pension plans from HDFC Standard Life. Retirement ke baad bhi sar utha ke jiyo. And life is busy. Acer makes it easy.
Minor girls being sold for 80,000 rupees. CNN IBN team goes undercover to expose the dark underbelly of child prostitution in the capital, New Delhi. Good evening. That very disturbing report ahead on 8 p.m. Prime. Delhi now has the dubious distinction of being the capital of underage prostitution. I'm Anubha Bhosle in the other headlines this evening. No communal budgeting, says the Prime Minister as he rejects the BJP Chief Minister's charges that the 11th five-year plan focused on minorities. Manmohan Singh says no attempt to divide people on caste and religion. The CBI confirms a CNN IBN expose. Pune's Preet Mandir was running an adoption racket and charged foreigners excess money if they wanted to adopt Indian children. The Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee offers to protect Jasbir Singh, crucial witness willing to depose against Jagdish Titler in the 1984 riots case. Noted criminal Charles Sobraj will have to stay in jail. The Nepal Supreme Court decides to postpone a decision on his appeal in a murder case.
If you look at on paper, if you look at it right now, the obvious choice of a doubles team would be Mahesh and myself.
Well, they seem to be on the same side. Leander confirms his on and off doubles partner Mahesh Bhupati's comment that the two may come together for the Beijing Olympics. And it's a French love story. Is Carla Bruni just a few days away from being France's First Lady? Well, not just that, there's still lots more ahead on 8 p.m. Prime. We'll go west to Yogita Limai, down south to Veeraraga, for sports to Sanjeev Mukherjee and Baharda, joining us with our green segment, Citizens for Earth.
A teacher in a district in Maharashtra is arrested for giving electric shocks to students. It was a punishment for indiscipline.
India have only one hit out ahead of their first test match in Australia, and that begins tomorrow against Victoria.
Why Delhi today is more polluted than when the CNG program was first introduced in the city.
Okay, all that's coming up ahead, but first to a shocking and very disturbing investigation. CNN IBN's special investigation team went undercover to expose the thriving prostitution racket. The shocking bit is the capital is now the hub for underage prostitution. These images that you're about to see are of child traffickers in action, offering our team young minor girls for a price. Siddharth Gautam reports.
This is Gunjan, not her real name, an underage girl being touted to us by Mukesh at a shop in South Delhi. Mukesh regularly supplies underage girls to customers in Delhi. Their rates are on his fingertips. A week later, Rahul, Mukesh's right-hand man, met us again with Gunjan, assuring our undercover investigation that she was a minor.
During our investigation, we found out that there is a huge demand for underage girls in metros like Delhi because virgin minors are considered to be free of sexually transmitted diseases.
We do have men saying that, or feeling or believing that if they have sex with a minor, especially a virgin, they get cured of various sexually transmitted infections.
With girl children fetching up to 1 lakh rupees, traffickers like Rahul and Mukesh told this investigation that family members were often prepared to push their girls into the flesh trade.
The high price customers pay drives this perverse virgin prostitute racket, pushing thousands of minors into sex slavery. Clearly, the girl child need protection and secure future, and the child traffickers deserve severest punishment. With Manmohan Gupta and Ritvik Deo in New Delhi, Siddharth Gautam.
Okay, let's try and talk a little more about this very disturbing subject. Joining us now is PM Nair. He's the project coordinator, anti-human trafficking at the UNODC. Thanks very much. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Nair, this evening. This report basically focusing on how minor girls are being pushed into flesh trade, how the capital is really the hub of underage prostitution, if you can call it that. My first question to you is this really located as far as the capital is concerned, or is this geographically perhaps spread across to other parts of the country, mainly Bihar, Jharkhand, Nepal, etc.?
If you ask me sincerely, I would say this exploitation of girl children, exploitation of boy children is there everywhere. You cannot identify one place to be the capital or otherwise. It is there everywhere.
What is the one basic difficulty that authorities like yours, the NGO, or perhaps the government has when it comes to tracing these child traffickers?
See, I work for the UNODC now, and I was earlier with the police and on deputation, but I have seen my law enforcement and the career, and as well as doing the Human Rights Commission work I am doing, and the present UNODC program. The basic fact remains that there is a lot of demand for children, boys or girls, both. There is a lot of demand. The demand arises due to various reasons which can list out. The first and foremost, I would say, is the extreme simple nature of children, that you can violate them without with impunity. So the fact that people can violate children, that's the main reason. Then additionally you have the myth of HIV, and people think that they can get cured of HIV, or they think they won't get HIV, and all those issues are there. But the basic fact remains that children are so vulnerable that they can be, these criminals can violate them.
Right, Mr. Nair, you're talking about HIV. In this particular story, we've many people have also perhaps spoken about the fact that how underage girls are really pushed into flesh trade because many of the sexually transmitted diseases, etc., may have not infected them. That's why perhaps a great demand for so-called virgin minors.
Absolutely right. In fact, the demand for children is so high, not only in the field of sexual exploitation. Now you have different dimensions like massage parlors, beauty parlors, where you find several types of exploitation coming up. Then pornography, and also in the field of exploitative labor. So you find a lot of demand for children, boys and girls both.
Right, very, very disturbing trend there. But Mr. Nair, thanks very much for joining us and sharing some of your experiences. In fact, we'd like to tell our viewers that the second part of that special investigation is ahead on India at 9. Meanwhile, if you feel strongly about what you've seen, do post your comments on IBNLive.com. Let's track another of our top stories at this hour. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has rejected charges levelled by BJP-ruled states that the 11th five-year plan focused on minorities. The battle lines, in fact, were clearly drawn at the meeting of the National Development Council today, where Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi alleged that the centre had resorted to communal budgeting. Meetu Jain reports.
It's not official yet, but the undertone is so evident. Electoral preparations are clearly on, and no better place to drive home the government's agenda than the National Development Council meeting with state chief ministers to clear the 11th five-year plan.
The 11th plan focuses on marginalized sections and marginalized regions without sacrificing enterprise and growth.
But is it equitable growth, is what the NDA-ruled states are asking, as they turn the NDC meeting into an electoral battlefield. Because for the first time, the government has kept aside 15% of budgetary allocation for the minorities. The divisions couldn't have been more clear-cut.
ये 11वीं पंचवर्षीय योजना ये इकोनॉमिकल ग्रोथ के बजाय वोट बैंक ग्रोथ की ओर इशारा करती है।
एनडीसी की मीटिंग जो है यहाँ कोई चुनावी भाषण की जगह नहीं है।
Whether the NDA endorses the 11th plan or not, the government has reason to showcase its growth parameters, which aim at a 10% growth rate from the present 9%. An outlay for education at nearly 20%, up from the present 8%, and nearly triple the allocation for agriculture, health and infrastructure. By equating the 15-point program with minority appeasement, the NDA is making its stand clear. It's smelling victory in Gujarat, which is why minority appeasement is an electoral flank on which it hopes to contest an early election. In New Delhi, Neetu Jain.
In fact, viewers have given mixed responses to these charges of communal budgeting. Here's a sample of what we've received so far. Rocky believes the Congress has always appeased one particular minority. Kapil says, I used to have faith in the UPA earlier, but I've lost faith in them now. Nirmal Kumar feels that economics should not be linked to religion and caste, and doesn't the Prime Minister, the economist, know that? Nasima says, so has the UPA alienated itself from the educated youth now. It's now focusing on caste and religion, he seems to suggest. But there are others like Surya who are very happy with the Prime Minister's move regarding minorities. In fact, let's get you more news about our children and how they are being violated. CNN-IBN had reported on how a Pune-based adoption agency was charging foreign parents wanting to adopt a child excess money than was permitted. The CBI has now filed a supplementary report holding the Preet Mandir agency culpable for irregularities. Parul Malik reports.
This is the CBI preliminary report submitted in October 2007, giving a clean chit to Preet Mandir.
CBI never considered whatever proofs we submitted to them. They are not mentioned a single point regarding that.
But now, in a supplementary report, the CBI has reversed its initial findings and admits that excess money had been charged from foreign adoptive parents by Preet Mandir. The CBI report quotes Hong Kong-based NRI Chandan Natwani, who was told by Preet Mandir owner J.S. Bhasin to pay $10,000 to adopt a baby girl. But CBI's job isn't over yet. It still has to probe allegations of corruption on Kara chairperson J.K. Mittal. This hotel bill obtained by our investigation showed that Preet Mandir paid for Mittal's stay at a luxury hotel in Pune.
The High Court has directed Advocate of Kara to place before it relevant rules regulations authorizing chairperson of Kara to stay in 5-star hotel.
Peter Fernandez clearly remembers that day.
On 6th of April 1986, we were celebrating a wedding. Charles and David Hall also entered inside. That time Zende caught hold of his bag and caught hold of Charles, and the other one caught of David Hall, and they asked us to help them giving a rope. So we had one of our rope which was behind in the well. We tied them, they put them in the ambassador. Meantime we asked with them, who are you? Why are you troubling them? So they said we are CIDs.
And this permanent guest at the Okokero continues to occupy the table on which he was caught, frozen in time, complete with a menu card in hand. It's an installation that's been generating a lot of interest.
When you mention Okokero in Goa, 9 out of 10 people say, oh, that's the place where Charles Sobhraj was caught. So we thought, why not make something where people can come here and be reminded of Charles Sobhraj and the incident that took place here.
And so the statue is dusted and cleaned every day in remembrance of the day the man who'd given the cops many a slip was finally caught and put away. With Pramod Acharya in Goa, Shailesh Rai.
Well, it's certainly arrested in time there. Well, apart from Gujarat, another state went to poll. So election season in Himachal Pradesh too. 67% people came out to vote today. Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh though says the state is heading for a constitutional crisis since the term of his Congress government is till March of 2008.
I don't think Constitution of India ever envisaged that there could be any occasion where, even for a short duration, there could be 2 Lok Sabhas in the country at the same time, or 2 assemblies at the same time in any state. This is against the provision of the Constitution. And this could have been easily avoided by the Election Commission by suitably fixing the dates of polling.
Okay, and here's what else is making news across the country.
The Enforcement Directorate in Bangalore has seized 1 crore rupees in Hawala money apart from 8 lakh rupees worth foreign currency from a scamster Ratan Das. Officials at the Directorate said that this was the first big haul of Hawala money in over 2 years. More news from Nandigram. Continuing its probe into the Nandigram violence of March 14th, the CBI has registered 4 fresh cases against local CPM leaders and police officials for allegedly raping women and holding them as hostages. Scheduled Caste Commission Chairman Bhuta Singh today summoned Censor Board Chairperson Sharmila Tagore to inquire into the alleged remark on scheduled caste in the movie Aaja Nach Le. With Bureau Inputs, Divmanu Chaudhary.
Okay, time for us to head into a quick break, but ahead on the show we've got the length and breadth of the country covered here on 8 p.m. Prime. Yogita Limai joining us from Mumbai and Veera Raghav from Chennai. Yogita, you first.
That's right, Anubha, and still ahead on the show, a shocking case of corporal punishment from Jalgaon in Maharashtra. A teacher is arrested for giving shocks to his students.
And in Kerala, will it be a dry Christmas for Catholics? We'll find out.
लम्हा लम्हा बदल रहे हैं हम सबसे आगे निकल रहे हैं हम नए लिबास में बढ़ रहे हैं हम Only Bima dressing up new India.
तुम झाड़ू पोछा लगाना भूली तो नहीं ना?
क्यों?
अरे भाई रिटायर हो गया हूँ, काम वाली की पगार बच जाएगी और तुम्हारी एक्सरसाइज भी हो जाएगी।
सुनो, बेटे से हर महीने कुछ पैसे मांग लेते हैं।
नहीं, जिंदगी में आज तक सिर्फ एक बार कुछ मांगा है, तुम्हारे बाप से तुम्हारा हाथ।
बुढ़ापे में ये दिन दिखाने के लिए?
नहीं, तुम्हें सिंगापुर दिखाने के लिए।
पेंशन प्लान्स फ्रॉम HDFC स्टैंडर्ड लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, रिटायरमेंट के बाद भी सर उठा के जियो।
Discover a unique stress-free work life and see your investments grow. AMR, Discovering Space.
Victorinox, the original Swiss Army knife.
Smart boy.
The top 40, 100 places you should visit before you die. The 50 greatest athletes in history. 3 things you'd take to a desert island. Humans love lists. It's a desperate attempt by man to make order out of chaos. There are thousands of different lists, and all have something in common. On a list, there is always a first. The rest follow behind. The Mercedes-Benz S-Class, unlike any other.
Do you know the world's fastest growing computer brand? It's Acer.
Acer Inspire 4710 laptop powered by Intel Cedrino duo processor technology.
ये डिजिटल कैमरा कितने में चाहिए? लेके जा सब तेरा ही है, लेके जाना, पूरा दुकान तेरा ही है। इधर इधर किधर जा रहा है?
Find over 1 lakh products at great deals on India's coolest online mall. Shop smarter yaar. Shop on eBay.
Discover Dubai. Race into the desert. Dive under the ocean. Aim for your sport. Discover Dubai.
चले चलो मजबूत हो इरादे, चले चलो बलशाली हो उम्मीदें, बुलंदी के इस पथ पर तुम चले चलो सामने मंजिल हो,
चले चलो रास्ते अपने हो भविष्य के नक्श कदम पर चले चलो
IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited.
This is Network 18 and you are watching CNN IBN.
You're with 8 p.m. Prime on CNN IBN. Now, in a shocking incident of corporal punishment, a school teacher in Maharashtra's Jalgaon district gave electric shocks to 16 students using a laboratory instrument for not paying attention in the laboratory. The teacher was arrested but is now out on bail.
Handcuffed and shamed, Sumant Mishra is led away by police in Jalgaon, Maharashtra. A teacher at the Central Railway English School, he's lost his job and reputation to a bizarre crime. Mishra is accused of giving electric shocks using a laboratory instrument to 16 students of the 8th and 9th standards, all because they were not paying attention in the lab.
उन्होंने लड़कों को जो हाईली मीटर से शॉक दिया है, पेरेंट्स लोगों के साथ मीटिंग हुई और उसको तुरंत 15 मिनट सस्पेंड किया गया टीचर को, और अब इंक्वायरी कमेटी बैठी है, उसकी इंक्वायरी चल रही है.
Shocked students reported the matter to their parents, who in turn approached the police. The students are yet to get over the trauma.
लैब में लेके गए, फिजिक्स लैब में, और बंद कर दिए और वायर छोटी पड़ रही थी तो उनको उसको थोड़ा किया और ऐसे लाइट में लगाकर बताया कि तुमको इससे करंट दूंगा, और इस वो करंट से उनको उससे ही करंट दिया.
The students say Mishra threatened to throw them out of the classroom window if they complained to anyone. Police have filed charges of causing hurt by dangerous weapons or means and criminal intimidation against him. Mishra is now out on bail, but he's surely given a new kind of reputation to this school. With Seema Taide from Jalgaon district, in New Delhi, Devashri Mahajan.
Now, if you're a fan of popular detective serials like CID, then a hospital in central Mumbai is the place to visit. A brand new forensic medicine museum, the only one of its kind in the state, has. But as Raksha Shetty found out, you need an iron stomach to see what's inside.
Hospitals are not exactly fun, but it doesn't get more morbid than this here on the 5th floor of the Nair Hospital, where we're getting an exclusive look into the minds of murderers.
In this department, this bat isn't just for cricket. This isn't used to make chapatis. And if you thought kite string or manja couldn't do much, well, wait till it gets around your neck.
And there's much, much more. Choking dolls, unborn children that have been the victims of crime, gory photographs with dismembered bodies, and the piece de resistance, a real life, or rather a real dead mummy, perfectly preserved.
From the hair present on it, we can make out what was probably the age of the person.
The man behind this morbid museum, Mumbai's Sherlock Holmes. Dead men can tell no tales, but Dr. Shailesh Moite has been solving their murders for 18 years now, scrutinizing the way a knot is tied and the way the throat is cut.
Looking at the nature of the injuries, we could come to a conclusion that the accused person is a left-handed person. His height is about 5'3" to 5'6". We could say that he was a moderately built person. And after apprehension of the accused, it turned out to be true.
With a 95% conviction rate, crime scene visits have now become Dr. Moite's speciality. His new baby, this museum, is now only open for medical students, but will soon be open to law and other college students as well. In Mumbai, Raksha Shetty.
That's it from me here in Mumbai, but news from the south is still ahead with Veera Raghav.
Thanks, Yogita. Scary forensics. It's power trouble in Tamil Nadu. The state now finds itself in the long list of states with a shortage of electricity. Tamil Nadu now faces a shortage of close to 2,000 megawatts, and that would mean that you would start 2008 with load shedding and power cuts. Sandhya Ravishankar reports on just why the state's power affairs are in such a mess.
Half-hour power cuts in industrial areas starting January. A first for Tamil Nadu that has an otherwise clean record when it comes to power management. While this load shedding has been announced only for industries, the state electricity minister says it will be extended to residential areas as well.
It's not just for the industry, but households and commercial areas will face power cuts as well.
Tamil Nadu can boast of alternative sources of energy like windmills and hydroelectric power. But in the last 10 years, successive state governments have overlooked increasing power generation.
We haven't added any capacity in the last 10 years. We are now adding 4,000 megawatt capacity and it will take at least 3 years.
Lights are off though almost every day in the industrial units of Coimbatore and other parts of southern Tamil Nadu. Experts say that indiscriminate handing out of political freebies like free power to farmers and weavers has resulted in this crisis. Each power cut means a 2% loss in production. And textile mill owners already hit by forex fluctuations are desperate.
The industry will all become NPAs, non-performing assets. People and industries in Madras, Chennai are getting uninterrupted power, but whereas we in Coimbatore are having lot of interruption in power without any information.
The government has said industries using furnace oil generators instead of electricity to run their units will be exempt from paying VAT on the fuel. But the industry is not happy. Under the circumstances, the only option for the state government is short-term solutions. That is asking Assam and Haryana for surplus power. They've also petitioned the Centre for Power from the unallocated pool. In Chennai, Sandhya Ravishankar.
Well, we're short of electricity, but what we have plenty of is water. Chennai city is in a mess, and that's due to rains in the last 48 hours. Sandhya Ravishankar brings you this update of the rains from across the state.
Rescue workers struggling in pouring rain. 4 people died when this building collapsed in Trichy. The second such incident within 2 months in Tamil Nadu. As rains lashed the state because of a trough over the Sri Lankan coast, old buildings like this one have become particularly vulnerable. The rest of the state, although geared up for the heavy rains, hasn't seen too much of a problem. While schools in Chennai remained shut on Wednesday as a safety measure, most of the city didn't witness waterlogging.
We've put in pumps in all the subways to make sure that waterlogging doesn't happen.
The Met Department says the depression is weakening, and while there may be rains on Thursday as well, it will not be a heavy downpour. The worst is, in fact, past. In Chennai, Sandhya Ravishankar.
And the city's infrastructure takes a beating every monsoon. We now move to a different watery debate in Kerala. The debates over whether to drink or not this Christmas. The Archbishop of the Ernakulam Diocese says don't have a drink, but that's got a mixed reaction from believers. Naveen Nair reports.
It's a state which is not just high on literacy, but also high on liquor. Kerala has the dubious distinction of highest per capita consumption of alcohol in the country. And come festivals, tipplers are on overdrive, cutting across religious lines. That's one high Mar Varki Vidyathil wants to undo. The major Archbishop of the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church has urged his flock to be sober come Christmas.
I have mentioned to the Christians of our country that they should abstain from the use of alcohol on Christmas Day.
But many feel it's up to the individual to decide whether Christmas should be celebrated with a drink or two.
I feel that it is against the personal right of a person, because we used to take little bit of drinks, that means wine or some soft drinks during the Christmas Eve.
But others feel drinking dominates festivities far too much and is not the only way to celebrate something as auspicious as Christmas.
Actually, the view of the church is not use liquor in life. It is ruining so many families in the country and the youngsters of the country. So every time, from the very beginning of the church is totally against drinking of alcohol.
For the average Malayali who considers every moment of celebration as an occasion to drink, this comes across as a damner of spirits. It's now up to the Catholic community in Kerala to set an example for the rest to follow. In Thiruvananthapuram, Naveen Nair.
I wonder if you're going to take that Archbishop's advice this Christmas, Anubha.
It's certainly the party pooper of sorts, but Veer Raghav and Yogita, thanks very much for joining us and giving us the entire update from the west and south of the country. But I'm sure someone celebrating has got to be Arsenal, Sanjeev, isn't that?
Anubha, the Gunners make short work of Rovers. Blackburn outgun as Arsenal make it to the semi-finals of the Carling Cup. That's coming up right after the break.
एक चाय में दूध जास्ती डालना, साथ में 2 खारा बिस्कुट और बन मस्का फ्री में देना, पंखा लगा, साथ के लिए रेडियो ऑन कर।
मावा केक टेस्ट करा देना। रेट्रो चलना क्या?
कुछ ज्यादा मिले तो कितना अच्छा लगता है, जैसे LIC की नई बीमा गोल्ड पॉलिसी, जिसमें मनी बैक और ऑटो कवर के साथ मिले 50% लाइफ कवर मैच्योरिटी के बाद भी।
Welcome to Gati.
The world of domino discipline, precision, complexity and interconnectivity. Gati delivers logistics solutions countrywide. Domino discipline keeps us ahead. Gati, ahead in reach.
इंडिया गेट क्लासिक बासमती राइस, जिसका आकार सबसे लंबा, खुशबू सबसे भीनी, स्वाद सबसे लाजवाब और रूप कितना खिला खिला, इससे बेहतर कोई नहीं।
Losing out on calling cards abroad? Next time use VTEL calling cards. Buy it in rupees and use it in over 200 countries.
American Express Traveler's Checks for your next trip overseas. Don't leave home without them.
मत रो बेटा, मत रो। चल, मैं तुझे पिक्चर दिखा लाता हूँ। कौन सी? भूत।
अरे रुक जा, रुक जा, अरे रुक जा यार। आई, अरे भूत के बच्चे, फिर मर गया।
हाथी सीमेंट, मजबूती गजब की।
No two people are the same. That's why we at HSBC offer different banking solutions. HSBC, the world's local bank.
Motors presents Thanks a Million Welcome Rewards, celebrating the millionth car rollout on the Indica platform. Buy any car from our dealerships and get assured benefits of up to ₹50,000, plus a scratch card that offers you free gifts and a chance to win a Tata Safari Tyco worth $1 million.
The infrastructure race is on. Participate to benefit from it. Kotak Indo-World Infrastructure Fund. NFO closes 22nd December. Kotak Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Please read the offer document carefully before investing. This is Network 18, and you are watching CNN IBN.
No communal budgeting, says the Prime Minister as he rejects the BJP Chief Minister's charges that the 11th five-year plan focused on minorities. Manmohan Singh says no attempt to divide people on caste and religion. Minor girls being sold for 80,000 rupees. CNN IBN team goes undercover to expose the dark underbelly of child prostitution in the capital. More news about our children being violated. The CBI confirms the CNN IBN expose. Pune's Preet Mandir was running an illegal adoption racket, charged foreigners excess money if they wanted to adopt Indian children. Okay, those were the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Time now to get all the sports news with Sanjeev Mukherjee. And Sanjeev, the Australian games are already beginning.
Absolutely, Anubha, and our sports editor Gaurav Kalra is there, and he's already in the thick of all the action now. India get only one hit out ahead of their first test match in Australia, and that begins tomorrow against Victoria. And as Gaurav now reports from Melbourne, the team knows that they have to get rid of any cobwebs quickly. This conversation between Zahir Khan and Indian physio John Gloucester gave it away. Clearly, Zahir has not recovered yet from the injury that kept him out at Bangalore and will most certainly miss the warm-up match. The news is better though for Vice-Captain MS Dhoni, who has recovered fully from the ankle injury that kept him out of the Bangalore test. He's bracing up for the challenge.
Well, Australia anywhere in the world is the biggest challenge, whether it's test match cricket, one-day cricket or T20. So I think they are the chart leaders right now for a consistent period of time because they're playing good cricket for a consistent span of time, or you can say for a long period.
The Indian camp only have the next 3 days to find answers to some difficult questions. Perhaps another practice game would have helped?
Definitely a bit more time, before the start of the test match, but, that's too many ifs and buts, so we have to be satisfied with whatever we have got. And right now it's one practice session and a 3-day game, and a few more practice sessions after that.
For the fringe men though, this is the perfect opportunity to be noticed. Ishant Sharma impressed in Bangalore, and Pankaj Singh may get the chance to display his ability at first-class level.
When you're playing in Australia, the length, it becomes very important to pitch in the right areas, because the length that you bowl in a Indian or a subcontinent cricket is very different from the length you will bowl in Australia or somewhere in England.
It is important for this team to get used to these conditions very quickly, because after just one practice match, they face the prospect of a Boxing Day test match against the world champions. With camera person Amit Palgil in Melbourne, this is Gaurav Kalra.
Right now, it's the longest running soap opera in Indian sports. Leander Paes and Mahesh Bhupati have always had a fragile relationship, but there are signs now that the ice is thawing. The goal is the Beijing Olympics, and Mahesh has shown the white flag already. Leander, though, is still evasive.
It was a memorable come-from-behind victory. The Indian Express had brushed off the cobwebs and won the gold medal at the Doha Asiad in 2006. But minutes afterwards, the celebrations abruptly ended.
He's made a comment saying that he'll never... From Steve Harmison yesterday on Day One. So that does it here on Sports. Back to you, Anubha, for the rest of the news.
Ajit, thanks very much for that comprehensive update. Up ahead, all the international news. France's most eligible bachelor may just tie the knot. Nicolas Sarkozy's marriage plans coming up ahead.
Looking for the best jobs in textile industry? Log on to jobstreet.com. Real companies, real jobs.
क्या क्लेम्स के वक्त आपकी इंश्योरेंस कंपनी बहरी हो जाती है? हम सुनते हैं हैसल फ्री क्लेम्स सिर्फ इफ्को टोक्यो जनरल इंश्योरेंस से।
Open your eyes to the 2.5-inch LCD sight show. Instant emails, music, photographs and more without booting. The latest Intel Centrino dual processor technology. The LG X Note R200, always awake.
बॉस इंटरव्यू नहीं तो नौकरी गई.
Trust me. Excuse me.
छोड़ भेड़ चाल, जरा दिखा कमाल, ढूंढ एक रास्ता नया, हंसी हम सफर, तू आगे निकल, ढूंढ एक रास्ता नया.
What about the interview?
Smart. Very smart.
Wagoner for the smarter race. Vision 70%. Revision 30%. Just another day at the office for a tiger. For information and careers, visit Accenture.com/India. Accenture. High performance delivered. JK Lakshmi Cement. Mazbuti guaranteed.
Samsika presents Brand Mantras from Brand Guru, Jagdeep Kapoor.
In brand building, be caring, not scaring.
To build a winning brand, contact Samsika Marketing Consultants. Happy brand building.
This is a classical design we did in Milan. This is a postmodern residence in design won 5 prestigious awards. Haki headquarters in Kyoto. To see our architecture, you don't look around the corner, you look around the world. So, what can I do for you?
Design a house around this.
At the bar, up the escalator, down the alley by the cafe, around the bend, across 22nd Street. They know who you are, they know what you do, they know where, they know how. Even as we speak, you're being watched. Now you know what it feels like. Dress code, Reed and Taylor.
Sorry, you'll have to wait. Catch the I-10 in India first. The world will catch up later. Catch the eye.
This is Network 18, and you are watching CNN IBN.
This is 8 p.m. Prime here on CNN IBN. Time now to get you all the international news. First to Pakistan, where it will be a somber Eid for many families. 56 people have died after a train derailed near Mehrabpur, close to Karachi. The death toll is feared to rise. 139 passengers have been pulled out so far. Scores have been reported injured as rescue workers and paramilitary units are struggling to cut the wreckage to pull out the survivors. The cause of the derailment is still not clear yet, but sabotage has not been ruled out. To Korea now, where former Hyundai CEO Lee Myung-bak is all set to become South Korea's new president, as exit polls are suggesting. Projections by state television showed that Lee had won a little over 50% of the vote, putting him well ahead of his nearest rival Chung Dong-yoon, who had 26%. If the final results tally, Lee could emerge with the largest margin of victory in 20 years. He is being investigated by Parliament for his links with a firm that swindled investors of millions of dollars. In a complete change of mood, time now for the French connection. Has the French president proposed marriage to supermodel Carlos Bruni? Well, no denying the fact that love is certainly in the air. Parul has more.
He is the president of France. She an ex-supermodel and a successful singer. He divorced in October. They met last month and went public with their romance this week. The buzz now is whether Carla Bruni will croon "I do" to Nicolas Sarkozy. The lady's mother has herself suggested that the two could marry. Marissa Tedeschi told an Italian newspaper that Sarko had proposed marriage to her 39-year-old daughter and that Carla was considering the proposal. The newspaper claimed that other sources had confirmed that Sarkozy had popped the question and told Carla to give him an answer by New Year's Day. Observers have also noted that Sarko has removed the wedding ring that he continued to wear even after his divorce from Cecilia in October. So will they or won't they? If you believe some media commentators, there isn't a romance brewing at all. It's just an elaborate PR exercise to divert attention away from political troubles at home. Miss Bruni too may not be the marrying kind. In a recent interview to Le Figaro, she said that monogamy bored her desperately, that she was monogamous from time to time but preferred polygamy and polyandry. But if the two were to marry, India could well be among the first stops of the new First Lady. The French president is after all the chief guest on Republic Day. In New Delhi, Parul.
Well, so soon, many would say. Time for us to slip into another quick break, but still ahead on the show, our green segment, Citizens for Earth with Bahar Dutt.
Coming up on CNN IBN Citizens for Earth, why Delhi today is more polluted than when the CNG program was first introduced in the city.
छोटा सा वो घरौंदा जिन लम्हों से था बंधा, उन लम्हों को सलाम, यादों को सलाम। छोटे से उस मकान को खुशियों का जहां बना।
बेटा ये तुम्हारे इसकी जरूरत नहीं।
फर्ज
आपने निभाया, हमने सिर्फ साथ दिया। LIC हाउसिंग फाइनेंस करता है आपको सलाम।
जमाना बदल गया पर क्या आपका फोन नहीं बदला? मोबाइल नेक्स्ट, जियो जिंदगी का लेवल नेक्स्ट।
हमला डेंगू का हमला पर सुरक्षा करेगा ऑल आउट। अब बीमारी वाले मच्छरों की एंट्री बंद। ऑल आउट मच्छरों का यमराज।
Suitings, the secret of style.
In the future, everyone will protect their eyes from sun damage like they protect their skin. Transition lenses are clear indoors and adjust to changing light outdoors, blocking harmful UV rays and glare. Don't wait for the future. The danger is here now. Ask your optician today. Transitions, healthy sight in every light.
This is Network 18 and you are watching CNN IBN.
Welcome back. You're with 8 p.m. prime time now for Citizens for Earth. Is Delhi's efforts to switch to CNG gone up in the air? Bahar Dutt with more on that.
The green color on these auto rickshaws, perhaps an indicator that Delhi was the first state in the country to have made the use of CNG or green fuel as mandatory on all forms of public transport. But Delhi today is more polluted than when the CNG program was first introduced. Sonal Vij now finds out why Delhi has lost all the gains of its CNG program.
It's CNG or compressed natural gas meant to be the solution to a polluting city. CNG as opposed to diesel or petrol emits less noxious gases. But now, CNG too has failed. This despite a concerned campaign to convert the entire city to a green fuel option. A latest analysis by the Centre for Science and Environment, the CSE, finds that pollution levels are on the upswing again after a few years of control. In 2002, when the CNG program was initiated, RSPM or the respirable suspended matter stood at 143 micrograms per cubic meter. In 2005, they dropped to 115 micrograms per cubic meter, and last year the levels of RSPM in winters were as high as 350 micrograms per cubic meter, which means more than double.
So, what has offset the benefits of CNG? These vehicles. Delhi has almost 4 million registered vehicles on its road, and the city keeps on adding about 1,000 each day. These vehicles in turn meet only 20% of the total transport demand.
So what's the solution?
The policies are really not encouraging public transport to that extent. In fact, if you look at our tax policies, then the tax burden on a person traveling in a bus is actually higher than a person traveling in a car.
The automobile industry keeps on adding flashy models of cars on road each day without thinking how much carbon do they actually emit. Until the government considers a tax policy whereby the polluting vehicles are taxed heavily or makes carpools compulsory, people like you and I will continue to choke in this toxic gas chamber. In polluting Delhi, Sonal Vij.
Okay, the benefits all offset. Still ahead on the show, he's the poster boy. Now his wife Gauri Khan is in vogue. You know what we mean? Just ahead.
Dressing up New India.
ओ आओ जी आओ, नमस्ते जी नमस्ते। मुन्ना NRI है NRI।
ओ भाई, लड़के के बारे में पूरी तरह पूछताछ कर ली है ना?
शोर मचाता तो कोई और ना ले जाता उसे उड़ा के।
आप अपनी जमीन के टुकड़े को बेचकर अपने जिगर के टुकड़े को विदेश भेज रहे हो,
वहाँ लड़का क्या करता है, उसका ब्याह तो नहीं हुआ है, हमारी बेटी को ब्याह के बाद ले जाएगा ना।
जल्दबाजी में मैं पता करना भूल ही गया।
तो आप एक काम करो, ब्याह का रजिस्ट्रेशन सर्टिफिकेट करा लो, पासपोर्ट और वीजा की जेरोक्स कापियाँ निकाल कर अपने पास रख लो।
ये सारे काम मैं भी जाके करता हूँ।
उसी कितने जा रहे हो, पगला कौन आता?
सपने देखना छोड़ दो, हकीकत पे जोर दो।
स्विट्जरलैंड। भाभी जी, थोड़ा भाई साहब के कंधे पे ऐसा सर रखिए ना, ऐसा रोमांटिक।
If you have a desire to travel, we have personal loans to help you fulfill it. Axis Bank.
I see a moon, baby. Get on your sleeve now, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah.
The world wants to be you. Fashion by Will's Lifestyle.
Problem? No Acer E key?
The Acer E technology lets you do settings so easily. Manages your power, your presentations, your security. Almost everything, you know.
Acer Inspire 4710 laptop powered by Intel Centrino Duo processor technology.
Life is busy, Acer makes it easy.
एक चाय में दूध जास्ती डालना, साथ में 2 खारा बिस्कुट और बन मस्का फ्री में देना, पंखा लगा, साथ के लिए रेडियो ऑन कर, मावा केक टेस्ट करा देना, रेड रोशन का क्या?
कुछ ज्यादा मिले तो कितना अच्छा लगता है, जैसे LIC की नई बीमा गोल्ड पॉलिसी, जिसमें मनी बैक और ऑटो कवर के साथ मिले 50% लाइफ कवर मैच्योरिटी के बाद भी।
This is Network 18 and you are watching CNN IBN.
He's the poster boy of India, but now Shah Rukh Khan's usually media-shy wife, Gauri Khan, is the new cover girl in Vogue's Jan issue.
Dressed in a striking red pleated silk mini by Jenny Packham, Shah Rukh Khan's Biwi or Biwi Gauri Khan makes a bold impression as the latest cover girl of Vogue magazine. Famous for maintaining a safe distance from her superstar husband's filmy lifestyle, Gauri made a rare exception by participating in the shoot, which was conducted at her own Mannat home. Few may be aware that Gauri was so averse to living the filmy life that she prayed for Shah Rukh's first film to bomb at the box office so the couple could move back to Delhi. Destiny, of course, had other plans. If Mumbai it had to be a life on her own terms. Glimpses of that life are on full display in the new issue of the magazine.
Well, she certainly strikes a pose there. Time for us to say goodbye. Remember, IBNLive.com is the place for all the latest news as it happens. India at 9 is coming up next.
Brought to you by Original Microsoft Software, the right standard for your business. Tata Motors thanks a million welcome rewards. Experience music differently with new Walkman phones from Sony Ericsson. J. Hampstead, the world's finest fabric. Monster.com, magic search, right jobs. Switch to Geox, Geox, the shoes that breathe. Pension plans from HDFC Standard Life, retirement ke baad bhi sar utha ke jiyo. And life is busy. Acer makes it easy.
98229881G. What an idea, Sirji.
Venice is beautiful, but you do need a friend in the city to truly discover it. Because only a friend would beg you to try the Bellinis at St. Marco's, tell you where to stick to a diet, where to steal, how to cheat on one, where to shop, and where to drop, how to be alone without being lonely. See? You do need a friend in the city to truly discover it.
India Today Travel Plus. Where do you want to go?
This is Network 18, and you are watching CNN IBN.
Brought to you by Accenture Consulting Technology Outsourcing. Accenture High Performance Delivered. Sony Vaio. All eyes on you. Dressing up New India. Only Vimop. India Today Travel Plus. Where do you want to go? Gola. And life is busy. Acer makes it easy.
This is India at 9, broadcasting live from the CNN IBN headquarters in New Delhi with Vidya Shankar Iyer and Suhasini Haidar.
Hello there, you're with India at 9, your one-stop news show for news from across India and the world.
Tonight.